Well, this is a somewhat, just a bit of an update on the tool holder. I'm going to be drilling the holes out large. George is going to be sending me some 3D printed sleeves. He's got a test one coming. So that'll take care of the paint or don't paint, soak in oil, all that kind of stuff. But I pulled one of them out this morning to check something else, and I went to put it back in, and it didn't really want to go back in. I was like, what the heck? So then I started thinking, oh, you know, if they're swelling and expanding, you know, and making the hole smaller because the fibers are exposed to air, I don't know, but I thought, that's not good. So I think I have see, like the ones that have something in it, no big deal. They haven't been exposed to much air or anything like that. These have been exposed to the end cut, so I'm thinking that's why they're swelling there. Just like this one. Oh. Yeah. And see, then this one was open, so its end grain had a chance to expand. Yeah, that was not too bad. But, so I guess I'll put, whoops. That's a through hole back there. So I guess I'll put these in the end. Yeah, that's a through hole too, which means if I lift it up, it'll fall through. Okie doke. Well, that's kind of the update on that. So drill your holes bigger than 3/4 of an inch if you're going to do this. I'm going to have to go through and drill them out to 1 inch. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put all the tools back on the bench and I'll drill all the holes to 1 inch while I'm waiting for plastic sleeves. And then that way they all have a chance to expand. And it makes me wonder too, the oil, you know, several people said soak it in oil, cover it in oil, that kind of stuff. Same thing with paint too, and it makes me wonder if everything would have swelled up with either of those. But you know, I drilled them with a 3/4 inch hole and they fit great the first day, but apparently not so much now. So anywho, thought you guys might like to have that info before you try it. Right from the beginning, after putting it together, in the first couple of comments about the rust, it was like, ooh, maybe some kind of sleeve. So my buddy George down in California there, who does the other 3D printing stuff like that for me, made 4 of these. And these are so cool. They're a flexible filament, so he was thinking that way they wouldn't crack as the tools drop into them hard and stuff like that. The flange is because when they sit in here, you know, that's still in contact with the wood. Don't really want that. So he put an 1.5 inch diameter flange on here. He also has some bumps in here, kind of like ribs, to cut down. He was worried that if it was too tight and too close, that it would create too much traction. But this stuff isn't as sticky. I brought it up. I was kind of a bit worried about it, but it's not. I mean, if I squeeze on it, I can get some traction. But anyway, that's what the ribs are for. So these are 1 inch holes. He went out and got a Forstner bit so that he could test them. And so, what I'm going to do is, I thought, you know, I could try to get it to the drill press and try to eyeball it over center. I could put a fence up, and then I'd still have, you know, my left and right trying to figure it out. And I thought, you know, what the heck? The screws will come back out pretty easily and separate it down into pieces. So I'm going to separate it down into pieces. As you can see, that piece on the screen there, that's for the single row of holes. And I laid it out, the size of the 2x4, the spacing, everything I have. And so if I shut that off, turn that one on, then there's the top board. So I've already post-processed these to the mill, and this is what I'm going to use. It's one of my homemade 3/8 holders. I'm sure it'll be more than accurate enough. This is a 1-inch Forstner bit. I have it set to do a plunge, not a. It's gonna do a partial retract, not a partial, full retract, because of what I showed in the other vid, how these things clog up in the wood. So I think I am ready to pull the tools out, take that apart, and get the set up in the vice jaws. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to register off the top back corner here of each board, and I'm going to line that up with the edge of the vise, so that way with whatever it's sitting on in the vices and the left edge, I shouldn't have to do any more origin finding on the other 2 boards. I just find it for the first one, put them in, clamp them, and let them run. I'll just have to run this process twice and the other one once. And with that drawn up, heck, I can go grab a couple more 2x4s, cut them to 18 inches, and whip out a couple more of these. But I don't have enough tools right now to warrant that. So you can see, even if it wasn't a rust issue, I still wouldn't want them to deal with that, with it being so snug in there. Well, those are pretty close to the same width, but so I just flush this up with the jaw there. Turn the nozzle off so it won't squirt moisture in. Okay, should move to the next one. Sleeves will cover up any of these imperfections. This is the real test. Oh man, is that perfect? Oh, that is so perfect. So I run that in far enough they stick out the bottom, and then I can just drop them in the holes. Now for the time being, until I get more of the things, these will easily sit in here, but check out the sleeve. George set it up for just a slight push-in, which is just perfect. That's going to be so awesome when get the rest of them and plug them all in. And now that I have the code set up for these, I could actually go buy like some walnut or maple, something pretty, and drill this stuff out. We'll see. I'd still use the sleeves. Those are just too cool. And I mean, these could be machined if you wanted, but perfect use for a 3D printer, huh? And what I meant about not being quite so deep, they they don't have to go all the way down to cover the whole tool. Okay, they could go to there, no problem. That would be plenty to keep it. Yeah, be perfect. So, how long are they now? The whole thing's 1.5 inches tall, so it could be taken down to 3/4 of an inch, 1 inch, easily. Okay, cool, awesome. Thanks, George. Man, this is makes me want to get my printer running, but too busy as it is. I've got this box from George filled with. I mean, that's a box of beauty right there. That's so cool. And I think he said it took 10 hours for one batch to print, and then the other batch, which was a little bit smaller, about 7 hours. There's a good bit of time invested in these, but cost-wise, the filament itself doesn't actually cost that much. You know, and they are flexible, so they're going to give a bit going into the hole, stuff like that. So considering some of the colors and stuff like that you can do with the print, you could come up with some pretty cool stuff. You know, I mean, this could have been painted white or any other color. You could get rather creative. I happen to prefer blue, and my preference for blue came long before the gloves. Yeah, it looks like there's 6 extras in here. And so what I'm almost thinking is maybe making myself a little bitty 6th one, because I don't typically use more than a few tools. So for right now, since I don't have that many tools, you know, I could leave the bottom row open, or I could leave, you know, this left side open and basically push everything over to there, and then just put in the tools that I'm going to be using for a particular project. I thought, heck, you know, I could grab a couple more scraps and throw them together. I still have the drilling program for the for this, so it'd just be a matter of bring that up, locate the board, and let it drill. Anyway, then I could have myself a 6, and then I could put the tools into that, and then this could be sitting off to the back, more out of the way, and I could have just the 6 tools I need up close. So we'll see what happens there. I'm still kind of undecided. I still have some more tools to put in holders and stuff like that too. So anyway, well, that is awesome, George. Those fit beautifully. Oh, that is so cool. I don't have to worry about oil dripping all over the place. I don't have to worry about my shafts rusting.